There seems to be an epidemic of this so-called hyperhomocysteinemia, or too much homocysteine in the blood of vegans. Again, this is a toxic substance, so we want low levels in our blood. So now the goal is to have a homocysteine level under 10. Vegans, 27. Vegans, 27. Vitamin B12 is the reason we have such terrible rates.
So this is the thing. This video came out a very long time ago, and at that time, the theory was that it was based on B12. But now, when you look at the more recent videos, suddenly the theory has changed.
In the process of making creatine, your body produces homocysteine as a byproduct.
The creation of creatine, when you have to make that from scratch, it creates a byproduct of homocysteine. You ask any vegan about that, they probably don't know.
Women don't need to make as much creatine as men, since they tend to have less muscle mass, and that may help explain the gender gap in homocysteine levels.
You're telling me the people who have to make the most creatine, in this example, in this theory, the people who have to make the most creatine are likely to have the most homocysteine. So I wonder which diet group is going to have to make the most creatine. And why is this important? What are the dangers of homocysteine?
5-point drop in homocysteine levels in this country, we would save the lives of 56,000 Americans every year. It's a neurotoxin. It kills brain cells. Increased rates of degenerative brain disease, stroke risk. People with homocysteine levels over 14 are 4 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease.
Some of their homocysteine levels were like through the roof, a few as high as 50, when the ideal is more like under 10.
Age-related hearing loss, birth defects, miscarriages, blood clots, cognitive decline, depression, the list goes on. And even moderately elevated levels of this toxic substance have just been shown to be a setup for heart disease. Yes, we have less oxidized cholesterol, but we have so much more in this initial entry that it's canceling out our benefits.
Alright, so aren't you guys the same ones who said that going vegan would make you heart attack proof?
The average vegan cholesterol is about 141 total, so that makes the average vegan essentially a heart attack proof.
You have made yourself heart attack proof. Bulletproof, heart attack proof.
Well, then it may be worth experimenting with supplementing with a gram of creatine for a few weeks and see if your homocysteine levels come down.
So now we got to take another supplement. See, when I did the vegan diet, I didn't take any creatine, so apparently I was doing it wrong. Because last time I heard from Dr. Greger,
the only thing one really has to seriously be concerned about on a plant-based diet is getting a regular, reliable source of vitamin B12. Otherwise, you can end up paralyzed, demented, or dead.
the only supplement that you had to take was a
reliable
source of B12, which they're not even consistent on that. But is this just another one that people are going to have to take? Basically, when people ask you, where do you get your protein from, and you guys laugh about it, it's actually a completely serious question, because according to Dr. Greger, where you get your protein from is pretty important, as there is not a source of creatine in plant foods.
Those eating strictly plant-based make all their creatine from scratch.
Where do you get your protein from is going to determine on if you have creatine in your diet or not. And if you don't, you're going to have to get it from a supplement form. Now, if you look up how creatine is made, the supplement form, you will be very unsurprised that it is not creatine, as you may be thinking. It's something else.
And as we all know, dietary supplements are not regulated by the FDA. It may contain contaminants or not actually contain what's on the label. Contaminants generated during the industrial production.